Today I have the Esee Churp, which I purchased with my own money. If you're interested in purchasing one, I'll post some links down below. When I purchased the Esee Churp, it was around $20 US. And as of the taping of this video, I've seen it between $19 and $25 at various online retailers. The Churp was designed by the late Mike Perrin of Randall's Adventure and Training. He designed the knife to be a cost-effective, everyday carry knife. The blade is D2 and is opened by a nail nick. The lock is a fairly large frame lock. By the looks of it, it looks like the tab would get in the way, but in reality it doesn't. The handles are G10 and stay grippy even with sweaty hands. This example is supposed to be blue, but to me it looks a lot more purple or even lavender. It has a large pocket clip that is reversible for tip up and tip down carry. It's a little shallow for my personal taste, but when I did carry it, it stayed clipped. The clip did become a hotspot during some of the tests, and I had to take it off in order to complete the tests. So how does it hold up? Well, I'm going to test the edge retention first by cutting manila rope, which is one of the toughest natural fibers, and my experience dulls blades very quickly. And then I'm going to cut some cardboard, mimicking what many people will use it for, opening up all their Amazon packages. I'm then going to sharpen it to see how easy it is to sharpen. After I've sharpened it, I'm going to drop the knife with the blade closed from 4 feet and see if the blade opens up on impact. I do this test 4 different times. I am then going to open the blade up and drop it tip down 4 times to see what, if any, damage would happen to the blade. This is a good test of the toughness of the steel and mimics someone dropping it while they're in hard use. This is really going to be a tale of 2 different knives. One with the factory edges and one after I sharpened it. I'll explain more of this as we go along. Let me get the cameras turned around here so you can see what I'm doing, and we'll dive right on in. Okay, let's start looking at some of the details. This is the blue version. To me, looks a lot more like purple, but this is D2 steel. It has a very nice big pocket clip, easy to get in and out of the pocket, although it is a kind of a high carry here. The handles are G10. I have found that they are really grippy, especially for wet hands. I did test that out. Open it up. Let's start taking a look at some of the measurements for real. Take a look at that. The blade itself, the whole knife itself comes in at, as I do everything kind of backwards from how I'm used to normally doing it. I'm going to do this back here. So the blade comes in. The whole knife comes in at 6.3. Yep, I'm sorry, 6.3045 inches. The blade itself comes in at 2.6585 inches. The cutting area of the blade I'm trying to do it so y'all can see it as I'm doing it here, but it's kind of hard to get the angle of the camera and be able to see. I am going to, okay. I get 2.61 inches. Another measurement was 2.63. Here the knife weighed in at 2.361 ounces or 74.59 grams. I tested the sharpness with a best tester. This measures the grams of force used to cut a calibrated filament. The lower the number, the sharper the knife. Out of the box, it's scored in 3 separate spots: 266, 202, and 546 at the tip. 2 or 3 other measurements scored even higher at the tip, so I used the lowest one to start with. According to best guidelines, if you've never heard of it before, high-end cutlery should be below 300. Anything over 400 needs some sharpening and some attention. A utility knife blade normally measures between 150 and 200, and a double-edged razor blade normally measures around 50. Here you can see a couple pictures of what the blade looked like before I started testing. Next, I cut 1/2-inch manila rope 20 times. I wrapped it in tape just to make cleanup a little bit easier. After cutting, I measured again. The scores were 420, 392, and 436, which showed a loss of around 81%. Here are a couple microscope shots of what the blade looked like after cutting. I sharpened the knife using Gritomatic diamond plates on my Edge Pro Apex. I had everything set up, but I forgot to hit record. Well, here's a couple pictures of what it looks like after I got done sharpening. After sharpening, the best scores came out at 177, 122, and 167 at the tip. I repeated the 20 cuts, plus I cut about 50 feet of cardboard. Then repeated the best test again. The results this time were 242, 252, and 187 at the tip. Now this is cutting both the rope and the cardboard, only resulted in a 68% loss of the sharpness. This is why I described the knife as a tale of 2 different knives. And frankly, it was actually still slicing through paper very easily after those 2 tests. Next up, the drop test. First, I dropped it from 4 feet closed to see if it would open. It did not open. I then dropped it several times, blade open, pointing down. I actually lost track of how many times I dropped it because every single time, except for the last one, the blade rotated and did not hit the blade at all. It always hit the somewhere on the scales. Well, when it finally did hit, this is what the damage looks like. Summarize everything. What do I think of this knife? So after all the testing, for this knife being for around $20, there's a lot of bang for the buck. I forgot to mention earlier that the pivot is actually on ball bearings, so the heat treat seems to be very good. Once I ground new edges into the knife, it held an edge for quite a while. It is light in the pocket, easy to open even with a nail nick, and it performs extremely well. The things I did not like about it were that it's a nail nick opening. I have a personal preference for one-handed opening knives because half the time I need one, my other hand is already full. This also means it's kind of lacking in the fidgeting category, if that's important to you. I wish the pocket clip allowed for a deeper carry. It's kind of high for my taste. Now, if I wore work pants or jeans instead of suits to work, I might be concerned about lint buildup with the ball bearing pivots. But hey, let's face it, I'm just nitpicking here. I would say this is a great knife, and if it gets lost or damaged, it's only 20 bucks. If you found this content useful or enjoyable, please hit the like button and subscribe for future videos. I am already working on the new video on the Work Sharp RMX Compact. Again, thank you for watching and have a great day.